Anthony Ray Hinton is adjusting to life as a free man. He's the Birmingham man who sat on death row for 30 years for crimes he did not commit. Tonight, in a TV 24 exclusive, Vanessa Croft takes a closer look at this case that happened right here in our own backyard and is now grabbing global attention.
The big question most have is how can this happen? And more importantly, what must be done to make sure it doesn't happen again? A search for answers takes me to our state capitol and the Montgomery-based Equal Justice Initiative, where we find the attorneys for Mr. Hinton.
Anthony Ray Hinton is one of the longest-serving death row prisoners in Alabama history and among the longest-serving condemned prisoners freed after evidence of innocence. Mr. Hinton's attorney, Brian Stevenson, the founder and director of the Equal Justice Initiative, says he knows exactly why an innocent man like Mr. Hinton can sit on death row for 30 years. Quote, "He was convicted because he's poor. We have a system that treats you better if you're rich and guilty than if you're poor and innocent. And his case proves it," end of quote, says Stevenson. We continue that conversation with the Montgomery-based EJI senior attorney Charlotte Morrison, who says there's a dedicated group of men and women trying to bring an end to cases like Mr. Hinton's, but the task is monumental.
Well, we believe that Alabama has a crisis with its death penalty because people are literally dying for legal assistance on death row. Mr. Hinton was the 152nd person exonerated. We now know that for every 9 people executed, 1 person is exonerated. And we believe that a number of people who have been executed have actually were innocent. And so people are dying for legal assistance. They are not getting the assistance that they need. And we really fear that if we continue with this, we continue to engage in this incredibly proven, unreliable death penalty system, we will risk and, in fact, likely execute someone who's innocent.
Alabama is also the only state in the country without a state-funded program to provide legal assistance to death row prisoners. Nearly half of the people currently under sentence of death in Alabama were represented by trial by appointed counsel whose compensation for trial preparation was capped by law at just $1,000. The EJI does not charge any of their clients for services.
It's very difficult to support work on behalf of people who have been accused of terrible things. And so when you're poor and you're accused of something terrible, you're presumed guilty, getting someone to voluntarily help you can sometimes be an almost impossible task.
As for the next step for Mr. Hinton, Ms. Morrison says the first thing on their agenda is an apology, which Mr. Hinton has not received. And at that point, they'll explore a number of options.